everybody, I'm Alicia, and as Mary said, I'm going to be talking about setting goals today, specifically with people who don't really want to set goals. Has anyone had an engineer that doesn't really want to set goals, doesn't find it useful? Hands up. Lovely. Wow. Oh God, this better be good then, right? All right. Cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about why it's hard. People don't really know what they want, right? They're not sure. They don't know. They also don't know what's possible from an organizational point of view, what roles are available, what opportunities are available, but also a little bit like within themselves, right? They're not sure. And also, some people aren't driven by goals. They're annoying, it's pressure, I don't like them. This is what I hear a lot. Sounds like maybe you guys hear some similar things. So I've kind of created this process over time that makes it a little bit easier for people to envision goals and envision where they may take themselves and their career. It's 3 steps. You could do this in 1 session, maybe 2, but you should give people the time to do this right. Includes brain dumping, just pulling ideas out of their minds, mapping to a timeline, and also shaping them, so getting that really nice actionable goal at the end of it. What you'll need for this session is Post-it notes and a whiteboard. Alternatively, you can use a laptop if you work remotely and use a tool like Miro or any other whiteboard-esque tool that you may use. So let's talk a little bit about brain dumping. Arguably the most important step here, because this is where you're going to be pulling ideas out of your engineers' minds. So you're going to want to really set the scene for them here. And you're going to be talking a lot in this session, and you want them to think big. So you're going to be suggesting ideas to them. Do you want to be a CTO? Do you want to be a VP of engineering? Do you want to go traveling? Would you like a lifestyle business? You can also think small. I want to get better at error handling. I want to understand React hooks under the hood. Include personal life. We're humans. We've got stuff going on. Do you want kids? Do you want to go traveling? Do you want to buy a house? What would you like to include in your personal life? And importantly, especially for managers, use past conversations, organization direction that you might want to go in. Any feedback that's come up recently? Do they need to improve their comms? Is this something you've spoken about before? Anything that's come up in performance reviews that you already know that you want to work on? This shouldn't be new feedback. This isn't the time for that. This should be something that you have been discussing beforehand, but you want to include in goals. It will probably look a little bit like this. A bunch of Post-it notes, random array of things. In real life, it might look like this. Or like this, or like this. So we've got a bunch of Post-it notes on your table, and we're going to start mapping them out. So with mapping, what you're going to want to do is pick one Post-it note up at a time and put it on your board. But you're going to want to put it in a timeline of short-term, medium-term, and long-term. So things you can do now in the next 3 to 6 months, things you can do sort of 6 to 12 months, and then things that are a little bit for the future that you're probably not going to focus on too much right now. That might look something like this on your whiteboard. And what you'll be able to do after that is start to draw a line or a path between each phase. So prioritize better might lead you to lead in a project really well, which might lead you to become a domain expert in the specific area. That could lead to you becoming a staff engineer, which maybe will lead to you becoming a CTO and one day opening up that dream bakery. So now they kind of have this path, they have an idea, they have a vision, like, wow, actually, I do know what I want out of my career, and I can see how I might achieve that. We're obviously missing a bunch of steps here. That is very obvious, but over time, you'll be able to build upon this map that you've created with them. This could look like this, could look like this. It's not always neat and tidy. Many different examples of times that I have done this with people. Cool, you've got all these Post-it notes, you've got a beautiful timeline, lots of lines, lots of things on your sticky board. Now it's time to start shaping them. So you want to take from your short-term section, you want to pick 2 or 3 Post-it notes, talk to your report about them, which ones do you want to put? Let's focus on this one. Maybe you want to influence as well and be like, I think you should work on this one sooner rather than later. Pick about 2 to 3 and we're going to start shaping them. This is where you start to get into a sort of goal framework. So I like to use SMART goals. So that is something that is specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. I'm really glad I got that right. Some people might use OKRs, right? Very common in companies, especially larger ones. or any type of other goal setting framework. So this is the time where you use your framework and you really start to drill down into the goal. So let's take an example. Having more impact. I think this is a classic one that everybody says they want to do. I want to have more impact. Well, fantastic. But how do you do that? So this is where you really start to try and get as specific as possible with what's on the post-it note. Cool. Well, I want to influence product decisions. Fantastic. Again, but how? Or maybe I want to understand product vision. Okay, great. Tell me how. I want to talk to PMs. Great. Now we have something actionable. We have something that we can actually do. Talk to PMs. Anything else you might want to do? Understand customer needs. Sure. How are you going to do that? Well, maybe I'll join some customer calls, talk to customers. Great. Again, we've ended up with something really actionable. We've gone from have more impact to talk to PMs, talk to customers. Great. Maybe another one, review more product specs. So now we have 3 really clear things that this person can work on or do. Let's take another one. Oh, no, wait. Before we get there, let's make them smart. So let's take the talk to PMs one and turn that into something really actionable with a time frame. Book regular one-on-ones with PM. Let's do that by the end of the week. You could even do it right now because it's going to take 5 minutes. Talk to customers can turn into join 2 customer calls. Let's do that by the end of July. Give them a couple of months, talk to CS, get the right people and join some customer calls. Lastly, review more product specs. Cool, let's review 3 product specs by middle of July. It's about a month. At Incident, our projects are 1 week at a time, so plenty of time to review 3 product specs. You now have 3 really clear, really actionable goals. Let's take another one. Prioritize better. This one's kind of hard because you could do this in loads of different ways. Like you could use a fancy tool to help you. Maybe someone can sense check your priorities when they change. Maybe someone can check your to-do list every week to make sure that you're focusing on the right things. But it's really hard to make this actionable, I think. I'm not really sure what it would be or what it could look like. Ultimately, what you're trying to do here is prioritize better, improve your prioritization. And I think this is important for you to think about, but not necessarily have it as a goal, but a focus. A conversation that you have regularly with your report, something that you talk about and think about. Have you tried this? How about this? It's not really necessarily specific, but something they should be constantly working on and thinking about, and you should be supporting and helping them with that. This is a focus. This is also a really good way to frame a goal for somebody who, again, isn't really a fan of deadlines. Okay, well, let's have it a focus and let's have it something that we talk about often. Let's take one more. Lead an incident. This is really easy to make super smart and actionable, and we can do that, right? Lead at least 1 incident. Fantastic, great. But the problem with this one is it's circumstantial. There has to be an incident, right, for them to be able to lead one. And I really don't want them running off and creating incidents for the sake of it. So, we can make this an opportunity-based goal. And this could also be viewed another way. Maybe they want to lead a project, right? But it's not for them to allocate themselves to a project. It's for you as their manager to do that. And that's sort of advocacy-based, right? So it might be circumstantial. Maybe you need to advocate for it, but it is opportunity-based. Framing it like this really takes the pressure off the person to achieve this thing that might not be in their control. So now we have 3 goals, super clear. This is the end of your session. This is it. You've got your 3 goals. It's fantastic. You've got some focuses and you've got an opportunity-based goal as well. And you can end your session there with a great thumbs up, knowing that you are going to be focusing on these things with your reports. But you should be reviewing and repeating this process often. You've set timelines on all of those goals, and those are really good times to have a look back. What have we accomplished so far? What didn't fit in? What didn't really make sense? Or what opportunity didn't come up? What can we do differently? What can we add to that backlog? We have this whole list of things that we're going to want to pick up over time. What can we add to that? Has there been any feedback recently that's come up? Anything from a recent performance review or something that may have sort of tickled your interest recently that we want to include in here? And then what should we pick up next? Picking up a few more of those post-it notes and going back through that shaping process. I do this every 2 to 3 months with my team. So at the end of all of this process, you should have 3 really legit goals or focuses for your report. You should have a really good sense of the direction that they want to take their career in. You should have a list of personal aspirations that they want to achieve. And this is great for just conversation, talking shit with your report. Hey, like, how's those books that you said that you wanted to read? How are they going? How's that personal lifestyle business that you said you wanted to start up? Any ideas yet? And you also have a backlog of goals for you to go back to, so you don't have to start from scratch and do this process all over again. You can just look at your backlog. Is this still the direction that we want to go in? Are these still the things that you want? Great. Let's pick some post-it notes and reshape and reframe. This is my process. I've found that it has made it a little bit easier for people to set goals and be excited about what it is that they're going to be working on, because they understand that it is part of the direction of their career. That's my talk, everybody. Thank you so much for listening.